Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? Awesome, possum. Alright. So, before we start the show, there's a few things I want to talk about. So, today we're going to talk about commercial theater and dinner theater. So, before we jump, we're going to jump into the spotlight, and when we jump into the spotlight, we're going to talk about what it is, how it began, because I know the history is a little boring, but if we don't know the history, we're not going to know how much it grown over all these years. And then we're going to talk about important things and then facts. And then, before we close the show, we're going to go, I'm going to talk about the differences between them. So let's jump to it. Okay, so this is a quote that I found. You gotta be original, because if you're like someone else, what do they need you for? Just think about that. Because that's pretty much what theater is. Like, you don't want to be like everybody else. You want to be different. So, commercial theater. What it is. Basically what it is, it's about a business that they're just going to... Basically what it is, it's about a business that, why am I getting so nervous?
You know it. You're fine.
Basically what it is, it's about a business that just is like, they want money. Okay, so what they'll do is they'll run shows for a long period of time until the show doesn't make any more money, and then that's pretty much it. So it kind of began, in 1772 and 1792, when Francis Perez de Robles, he was from Spain, he came over to America, and that's what he kind of brought it in and kind of started it over here. So when they first started, it was just pretty simple. It was just a stage, some curtains, some lights, nothing too fancy, nothing too big. Pretty much what important things to know about is that they start running the show for as long as they can to make as much money as they can. But the person who decides when the show stops is the box office, because they're the one that's kind of managing the money and everything. They are private in the sense that like they have like their own. They don't have like their own company, but they have like their own group wise. They go into, they rent other facilities, and so that way that sometimes they have to follow by their rules and stuff. Yeah. So how is it different from back then to today? A lot of things has changed, like technology-wise, by how they use lights. Now they use LED. Now they can control it by the panel. The curtain-wise, it has better sound. Can bounce off of things. The stage-wise, it's a lot bigger, a lot more room to do a lot more things. Yeah. So these are some of the places that are where people perform. The Bravo Theater. It's pretty big. They did a renovation of it, and it was like $3 million. So they like reinvented it. Like, they redid everything. Well, I like it just because like it's just so, I don't know, it just pops. Then we go to the Toronto Winter Garden Theatre Centre, and that holds about 65,000 seats. It's the world's largest observing double-decker. And then we go into the courtesy, this one right here, from Tampa Theatre. And it was built in 1926, and it's featured in the Lego Land. So, now we're going to move on to dinner theater. So, dinner theater, basically what it is, it's where you can go and eat and also watch a theater. What's something that's really cool about this is because it's like, I don't know, a lot of people, it was a brand new invention. Like, who would have thought like eating and then watching theater would be like a cool thing? I didn't, obviously. But anyway, So, meals are included. They're part of the NDTA, which I didn't know about this. It's their own National Dinner Theater Association. They hire a lot of people like within the community, just because like they support the community a lot. And it's usually like a 3-course meal, so you get like your appetizer, your main meal, and then you get your dessert. And then how it's new back then. Oh, I guess I forgot. Okay. Anyways, how it's new pretty much is like back then. It was just kind of random. Like not a lot of people came. It was super small, and now it's got between like the 1960s and 1970s. That's when it started like picking up a lot more. Then right now when it's new is they do a lot of like projections sometimes. One of them that I'm going to show on this next slide is I went to Branson a long time ago, and we were on a boat, and they had a dinner theater, and I didn't really realize that it was called a dinner theater until this class. So here we go. The showboat Branson Bella, and super cool. There were people like dancing, they were acting. It lasted roughly around an hour, and hour and 20 minutes with everything. And we actually got to perform on stage. Yeah, it was super cool. Then we go into the Manhattan Center right here. The Manhattan Center is kind of weird just because like there's 2 different areas. There's the so there's like the ball, which is this part right here, and then they have like their own studio, which like they have concerts and like other people can like come in so they can make more money and stuff. And then the Bella Eplog Mullen Roadshow, that's all the way in Paris. I brought that in just because it's like, just because we're in the United States, it's also interesting to see like how other people are like figuring out the technology and how like they're moving on too. So yeah, they're all really big, really beautiful. Cost a lot of money, that's for sure. So I'm gonna go into this next quote. Reach high, for the stars are hidden. Your soul dream deep. For every dream precede the goal. So just pretty much like everything that you have, like just go for it. Now we're gonna move on to compare and contrast. So obviously dinner, they serve food. Commercial, they don't. Dinner, because like they run like in 2 weeks, so they have more shows. In commercial, they just do one show for a very long time and get as much money as they can. For community dinner, they help out the community a lot. They hire people who make food there. So yeah. Commercial, they don't really help out the community that much, just because they're always traveling around. Commercial, they get paid more. For dinner, they don't get paid as much, or not at all, just because it's more of a volunteer kind of thing sometimes. So the cost is relatively the same, just depending on like where you're going for like dinner theater, or like where you're sitting if you're gonna go see a Broadway show. Obviously Broadway is gonna cost a little bit more, just because it's well known. Oh, one thing I forgot. Commercial theater actually brings in a lot more tourist people than dinner theater. So the innovation is pretty much the same. Like they both have like scenic projections. They're both like their lighting and their technology is like moving forward a lot. They could either be in the union or the non-union, or and they accept donations. And yeah, who are we and how does this affect me? Pretty much what I said there is just like, just think about like everything. Like all this happened because people dream something big, and if we dream something big, maybe we could create something new too.